call me Roy.
Hi, welcome to Roy's Book Reviews. Hi, today I'm going to share my thoughts with you on a novel that gave me another notch in my belt of Pulitzer Prize for fiction winners that I have read. I am trying to read as many of them as possible. Maybe at some point I will catch up and be at 100%. For now, I got a ways to go before I reach that milestone. The latest one, right here, A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. Like the previous Pulitzer Prize winner that I read, Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout, the format of A Visit from the Goon Squad, I would say reads more like a short story collection than a novel. Rearranging the chapters would make little difference since we're not following a narrative from beginning to end. From a marketing standpoint, novels are usually better sellers than short story collections or anthologies. So even if A Visit from the Goon Squad and Olive Kitteridge were both conceived by their authors as story collections, they must have figured out or been advised that it would be monetarily advantageous to categorize their books as novels. Even though Olive barely makes an appearance in some of the chapters or stories, whatever you want to call them, that comprise Strout's book, I feel that the linking of them was a little stronger than was done by Jennifer Egan in her Pulitzer Prize winner. That's probably because Strout doesn't experiment much with her prose, but rather presents a series of events in the fictional town where Olive lives that are each written in the same literary style. Egan, on the other hand, jumps around from first person to second person to third person point of view. One notable chapter is written as a set of PowerPoint slides. I almost skipped that section, to be honest, but decided not to and ultimately was glad that I read it. Olive Kitteridge is largely, even if not completely, about a woman named Olive. The primary characters of A Visit from the Goon Squad are a former punk rocker turned record executive named Benny Salazar and a woman he employs named Sasha. But plenty of other characters are visited throughout the narrative, to the point where I lost track at times of whether I was revisiting a character who was at a different stage of their life than where they were in the previous visit, or if I was being introduced to a brand new character making an appearance because they are connected to Benny and or to Sasha in some way. A Visit from the Goon Squad is mostly about the process of aging and the music that helps shape our lives as we go through a variety of stages. Struggling or professionally successful, single or married or remarried, satisfied with one's lot in life or barely holding on to sanity as the bastards beat you down. Individually, each chapter of A Visit from the Goon Squad is absorbing. It doesn't matter who is centered in it because each character's situation is as wonderfully displayed by Egan's steady hand as the others. Egan succeeds at an author's primary job, which in my opinion is to make you care about what's going on and who it's happening to. But she refuses to stay in one place. The setting of the current chapter will be a different time and place than where the preceding chapter left off, abandoning one story that reads as a strong standalone piece, presenting a new one to cast its spell before moving on to something else. Some chapters will be more compelling to you than others, per your taste. The one featuring a dictator had me briefly wondering if I had wandered into a different book and genre entirely. Not that I didn't enjoy it. It was just kind of stood out from the pack, though not as much as the PowerPoint section. As for that previously mentioned PowerPoint section, it reads like, well, a PowerPoint presentation. Yet it manages to reveal a considerable amount of detail about the characters featured in the slides. A Visit from the Goon Squad is not as wildly experimental as a book such as House of Leaves, which I discuss in another review here. So no need for you to pull any hair out of your head or to pour yourself a stiff drink while reading Egan's prose. It's not that experimental. But she does take risks for sure, and mostly pulls them off. I'm not a big rereader of novels, but this is one I may come back to at some point down the line. I'm pretty sure that I missed out on some stuff because I was not paying sufficiently close attention. Some novels allow you to follow along effortlessly, while others demand greater focus in order to notice character arcs to the full extent. A Visit from the Goon Squad falls into the latter category, and a second read would probably be beneficial to my full comprehension. Then again, an author's job is to get it right the first time, because many readers will leisurely visit a book just once. The Pulitzer Prize Committee felt that Egan succeeded in a big way. As for me, overall, I enjoyed this book. But if I was to rank the Pulitzer winners that I've read so far, quite a few others would be placed above this one. That's not meant as a slight, since the lower end of the best is still a pretty sweet spot to be. When I choose to reread a novel, I prefer that it's because I was so overwhelmed by its beauty and the first time around that I want a second helping, rather than rereading to confirm that I kept proper track of everyone and everything going on. In general, I like short story collections that feel like a collection of great short stories, and novels that feel, regardless of how many characters it contains, like a single great story. But I'm not the one handing out Pulitzer Prizes, so, they can dole them out to whoever they so choose. So that's what I have to say about A Visit from the Goon Squad. Check it out, or don't check it out, up to you. Until next time, this is Roy, wishing you happy reading and advising you to be sure to take it slow and easy in these dog days or turtle days of summer.